So thank you for the chair, Jim. You
Can I just put it in the floor here?
Toss them, Gramps.
We could.
Or put it here?
Just don't throw back in.
Man,
Is
lost
that
her
one I had
job.
already?
I know.
No, that's one that
No,
got
those
out of the
are
way. It's
thrown.
already been done.
Those are thrown.
It's
away.
not done?
No, it's
It
already
is
been
done.
done. It was the car
See,
one.
that's why maybe I better hold the jar.
Okay. Tell us about a favorite memory of you and your grandmother? Grandmutter?
Probably grandmother.
Probably grandmother.
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 Okay. My grandmother's it's my father's mother. I never knew my mother's mother. She died when my mother was about 14. And her stepmother I had met. But my mother's father died when I was 3, so I never really knew her either. So my grandmother was a landscape not professional, but landscape artist. I have pictures in my house, and she did some paintings and had shows, not well known.
Your grandmother?
Yeah.
Maud Clark?
Okay, if you guys look, all the paintings in my dining room and living room are done by her.
So she tried to teach me to paint unsuccessfully. So she, as I found out in doing all my genealogy, she married James Mitten, and my name should be Mitten. And
Yeah, we had a fight over that a few times.
Here we go.
And
Timer set.
No fight.
my father was born Calvin Mitten, no birth certificate, but Michael, who went to Salt Lake City, he found a copy of their marriage certificate, thank God, because I didn't know if they were married. Now today it wouldn't matter, but it did matter in those days.
But it does matter. Anybody in this room whose name is Spafford should really be Mitten.
That would be.
That's
All
why
of
Michelle's
us.
on.
Yeah. Michelle
Oh.
Mitten. No thanks.
There's
No,
Mitten.
Mitten.
Hey, I like
Mitten.
Marcy Mitten. I love that.
Everyone would think I was pretentious.
But it's not Mitten.
Mitten.
I was told that, but
Maybe
not true. It's Mitten.
I like Marcy
Michelle
Mitten.
So anyway,
That said, you got the bloodline, but the name line is
so
Spafford.
What?
they split.
Ah.
They split up right away, and my dad lived on the farm with his mother's parents, and then my grandmother remarried a guy named Thorne. That disappeared, and then she married
What?
Harry Clark, and so the paintings of Maud Clark,
How many marriages did she have?
3.
Jim, are you listening?
3. So that was the one that lasted until he died and then she died. So she was very artistic, and she had, between marriages 2 and 3, she had a millinery shop, and she designed hats for women who wore the big fancy hats in the 20s and 30s.
Oh, cool.
And my guess is that's how she met Harry Clark, because he was from a very wealthy family who didn't like her. And she's a farm girl, a big boned farm girl. These muscles are twice the size of mine.
Wow.
She was tall and she was heavy. She wasn't fat, but she was big. So
Churn that butter.
So what's
So
your
anyway,
favorite memory?
so-
What's your favorite memory?
so my grandmother.
Doesn't it say what's your favorite memory?
Oh, this is one of those long ones.
The timer's on.
This is a long one, because my grandmother, my dad lost several jobs during the Depression, and my grandmother and her husband, Maud and Harry, took care of us. And they bought a trailer, took us to Arizona. They went to either Florida or California in the winters. So they took us to Arizona, and then back to their house in Michigan in the summer in the lake, then back to Arizona, back to Michigan. Then we came to California, and then we were
During
going to
the
Mexico,
Depression.
never made it.
Right during the Depression?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Still in the 30s. And that's where I got the piano, and that's where I got the bicycle. And because my grandfather had no other kids, and he accepted me as his only grandchild. And they took good care of my parents. loaned my dad money to buy a lot in San Diego to where my dad built a house.
La Jolla.
Got them started. Now, first in Ocean Beach, helped to support them. And so my grandmother was very loving, very domineering, loved the news, loved to laugh. She was a party girl. She was a big, happy party girl, which is why she had the man and the whole thing. She loved to dance, she loved to drink, she loved to do the whole bit.
In the 20s.
And she was,
Roaring 20.
we were very
Yeah,
close.
Flapper.
And she was very supportive to my dad and to me. And she left me money in her will. She left me a lot in Florida, which I stupidly sold. And
Well, we discussed that and it's fine.
We discussed that and it's fine.
so anyway, my grandmother, I have very, and
We did.
So the favorite
You have
memory
many good
is
memories of her.
complicated.
We
Yeah.
discussed
my
that
favorite
it's fine.
memory is just of her.
The trailer
Yeah.
in
Well,
Arizona.
that's cool.
The trailer was cool. We all lived in the little town of Oracle, which is now a resort town. My parents, my grandparents, and I and my dog all lived in this, like an RV.
Aw,
You had a dog?
that's cute.
What kind of dog?
Fox
He
Terrier.
doesn't like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's 'cause
No,
that
it's
cat-
like
My
an
best
basket.
friend, because I had no brothers and sisters, and we moved around a lot.
That's because
I
the
went
cat
to-
jumped on his head.
I went to like 7 schools in Arizona, and I went. It's the thing where I had to learn to meet people because I was every few
Jim
months
was
I was
saying
moving.
the same thing.
No brothers and
The
sisters.
Navajo.
So my dad.
Yeah, you went to Indian
You know,
school.
Jim was
Well,
saying
I
the
went
same
to an all-Indian
thing.
school where I was the only white kid in Arizona in one
Weird.
place.
And Jim had to switch
Yeah.
schools. Did you have any siblings, Jim? So Jim did the same thing where he had to switch schools.
Yeah, Jim.
Yeah,
Jim
I
moved
switched
around.
schools.
a lot.
I never asked my father what was new.
He was an Army brat.
Grossmont High.
Wherever for you.